This is a presentation of the Sports Source Digital Network, presented by Hearthside Bank.
Welcome in to the Sports Source Digital Network. I'm John Pennington, joined by Ollie Lane, former Tennessee offensive lineman and a big part of the Sports Source and all that we do here. Soon, you'll be co-hosting with me and Kevin Simon and John Wilkerson for the Saturday kickoff. So look forward to that again this year. I wanted to talk to you. We got together on Sunday, and you and Daniel Hood, another VFL, were on the Sunday show, and you were able to go over. UT let the VFLs come in and watch practice the other day, Saturday. And we had you guys on the show, and you're talking about, well, there were some bad snaps. And the word came out from the media session before you guys even, I mean, you were there for all of it, but the media guys were like, woo, a lot of drop balls today. And the reaction was, well, they're just now getting the offense in, they're installing it. This happens. Okay, I get that. At the same time, I want to talk about how coaches make sure it stops happening. And I want to compare. You've been under Jeremy Pruitt and Josh Heupel. I want to compare those two to see if there's any difference in the way they handle those types of things. Let's start with snaps. Since you were a guard for most of your preference was guard. You got thrown in at center at times and you weren't thrilled with it. But you did your part. But when you were at center, or when Cooper Mays was at center, whoever, and a ball winds up on the turf, what was the reaction under Jeremy Pruitt?
I mean, just thinking back some horror stories, I remember snapping a ball over, I can't remember, whichever one.
Surely not over Milton's head.
Yeah, not that guy.
That had to be 10 feet in the air.
It had to be like a Harrison Bailey or something, I can't remember. But snapping over his head.
Milton wouldn't have been here under Pruitt, sorry.
Pruitt just starts ripping me apart, rip me a new one, get out of the team setting, go run a lap. And I mean, that's how he treated it. It was, we're stopping practice, you're getting called out right here and right now, in front of everybody, and then you're getting punished in front of everybody. So it puts you more on that focus point. Like everybody, you're the focus of the whole team at the moment, getting yelled at. So it works sometimes. Sometimes, me personally, I was never a guy that liked to get called out in front of everybody.
I don't think many people would.
But it also does kind of, you don't want to get called out in front of everybody, so you're going to do everything you can not to make those snaps happen. But
more of a negative reinforcement. Well, I know, for example, reading about my own favorite pro team recently, they had a couple of bad snaps, and it became a concern. And then basically when they had a bad snap, the whole offense runs a lap. And then they come back and they get back into it. How does Josh Heupel do it? Is it the same thing, or does he do it a little differently?
It's a little bit differently because I think, from their standpoint, go fast. You want to get all your reps in practice. You don't want to waste a rep or burn a rep. And when you have those bad snaps, it burns a rep. Well, if you take more time to call out that poor opportunity that happened, then you're just burning more time that you got out there. So they really take that, we've got this amount of time, we got to use it wisely. So what they do is they come back after the fact, watch the film, see where all the issues were happening, and then they make it up on the back end. So you go out and do that whole next practice, and then be like, all right, well, this is what you messed up from the previous practice, so now we're going to do, for instance, snaps. If you have bad snaps throughout practice, after practice, you get together with one of the O-line assistants, and you'd snap and do a quarterback-center exchange for about 20 minutes or something after practice. However many snaps you had to do to account for how many bad. Yeah, I think it was like every one bad snap, you had to get 5 extra snaps after practice. And so, I mean, sometimes it add up, but...
So it wouldn't be calling out in front of everybody. Everybody would see you having to do it, but it would be the next day. So you get your reps in. Actually, that sounds I was hoping I could say this sounds bizarre, but actually that sounds like a better plan to me.
Well, because, then they can also play it into, they do another, it's called loafs. So you can watch the film and be like, oh, well, that guy's not giving full effort on that play. That's a loaf. Well, now he's got to go do sled pushes after practice the next day because he wasn't giving his full effort. So it plays hand in hand with all their other disciplinary, keep you on track actions.
That's good. What about drop passes? How do they handle those?
I'd assume somewhat similar to the same. I always saw.
You weren't paying attention. You're
not as much, no. But I do think, and I don't want to say I'm 100% right, but what I believe would happen is they would take them and they'd be on the jug machine all day after practice. So they'd be on the jugs just catching passes back and forth or doing whatever it was, running routes or something like that. So, every position has somewhat of their formulated get-back plan, I guess.
So it's Jeremy Pruitt sounds like he was the warden. Whereas with Hypel, it's not kindergarten. They're not letting you get away with stuff. It just seems like a more focused fix, actually.
Yeah, I mean, it's almost like a company, and we'll write in the complaint, and then when I get the complaint and see it, then I'll tell you about it.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Then we'll handle it that way. In terms of the other ways, the practice you saw them running the other day, same practice from what you were playing 2 years ago? Are there any changes that you noticed or not? I mean, it's the same staff. I just wonder, you have some new analysts over there. Anything different?
I mean, as far as the practice structure, I mean, they went from doing all the team run stuff to then they hop into their pass pro protection and then go one-on-one pass rush while they're doing special teams and then bring it together as a team. I mean, their practice schedule is pretty set up consistently throughout. I mean, we'll add periods as you get deeper into camp. I think they max out at like 24 period practice. I think the one on Saturday was only about 18. So it just depends here or there. They'll add periods and stuff like that. But, I mean, as far as what they do in a practice setting, the schedule's the same as it's always been.
Yeah. Anything standing out to you about that practice that was?
I will say one thing that really stood out to me, because after everything that's happened in this offseason, that energy in that complex was still pretty good. And that's something that I was, I wondered about, because you lose your star quarterback, you lose
Carter was that was hanging out there. And clearly there were some members of the team that were not happy.
Yeah. But seeing that energy out there, and then just talking to some of the people that are around the team, hearing that the senior leadership, some of the best they've ever had. And you could see it. You could see, those seniors actually taking stands to make good leadership calls and stuff like that. The Boo Carter situation, it is what it is, but they're going to give the guy a shot to earn it back. And I think, second chances do hold a right in their own. And so I can see it, though. And that was the big thing for me, is just seeing that they're not defeating themselves already before they even got on the field, because they don't have what they have, and they have all this outside stuff going on. They're able to just focus on the football, and that's all that matters.
One thing that I've noticed that is, I'm not the guy who typically gives benefit of the doubt a lot. I just go into things and think, this is the good, this is the bad, and I expect this to be bad. I'm not going to say it'll be good just for the sake of saying it and making people happy. But I've noticed, because of Hypel's success that he's had here, and because he was so successful as a quarterback on a championship team, runner-up for Heisman, and you read stories about the guys he played with and what a leader he was. Whenever I have a question about the way he handles things, I kind of give him a benefit of the doubt. Again, that's not my MO, but I give him the benefit of the doubt a little bit more than I have previous coaches. He seems to have a good handle on team chemistry, a good handle on the way people react to things. I'm not big on – I know everybody wants a player-led team, and I get that. You want to have the players involved. They have to take accountability, and they have to have a say in it. I get that. But push comes to shove, there needs to be somebody who, at the end of the day, I write the checks, boys.
Yeah.
I'm making the call. He did a lot of talking about the leadership council when it came to Boo Carter. And anybody else, I would have questioned that. And I would have questioned it a little bit more, the fact that he only had to do 4 practices by himself before he's back out there. But when I'm looking at this situation now, I tend to say, well, Hypel has a pretty good pedigree, so I'm going to go with it. In terms of him understanding that locker room chemistry, that leadership, could you tell a difference between him and Jeremy Pruitt?
Oh, yeah, most definitely.
And I don't mean just one was a jerk and one wasn't. I mean, did one have a better handle, a better grasp on how to keep that right mix of discipline and chemistry, and the players have this say, and we all buy in, and I do that? It just seems like he's got a better handle on how to mix that all up and make it work.
Yeah, because, I mean, when you're looking at things, I mean, obviously, as the head coach, yes, you are the one writing the checks. You're the CEO. You make the head call, but you still want input from your players. If I'm a CEO of a company, I still want input from my managers before I just go do something. And that's something that Jeremy Pruitt didn't really take a lot of. Yeah, we had somewhat of a leadership council with Pruitt, but, I mean, it was, well, this is what I want to do, make sure this gets done. It wasn't, what do you guys got? Let's see what we can do. Yeah. And, I mean, Hypel does that, and I think it comes back from what you were saying, him being a quarterback and a leader. You focus on what does the team need. And I think in this situation with some of this stuff, you go to and you ask the guys that's going to have to play with whoever the situation is going on with. And if they see a foreseeable path of him earning that respect back from the team, then there's no reason not to. And I think that's where he's kind of playing that in. At the same time, Coach Hypel's, yes, he's got to worry about the football part of it too, but he's also worrying about these kids' lives, what happens to them. And so you got to factor those things into it. And, when you take the advice of your players, it one shows that you trust your players. And the more that you show that, the more your players are going to respect you and play harder for you.
And trust you in return. Yeah.
Exactly.
Ollie Lane, I appreciate it. If you like this kind of content where we just sit down and ramble, be sure to click the thumbs up. You can also hit the subscribe button. I appreciate that. You can ring the notify bell. That'll tell you when we put more stuff up here. And leave a comment. If you've got playing experience, if you were a coach, let me know how you handle that, the discipline angle. How do you handle the guy messes up a snap, guy drops a pass, make him run right there? Did you handle it the Josh Heupel way? Do you think one way is better than the other? You tell us in the comments section. I appreciate it. See you next time on the Sports Source Digital Network.